To form an effective strategy, usually the first step that we take is to research, gather data, and analyze it. Likewise, bullet journaling is a tool that we can use to record our past and gather data in order to design a better version of ourselves. In this video, I wanted to share some prompts that you can use to review your first 6 months of the year, and some examples from my own life that I hope would be helpful for you guys. For the decorations, as you know, I am a minimalist at heart, so I used this washi tape to mask off a section of the spread and pulled out these plant stamps that I had and started stamping it randomly like crazy on that section that I masked off. To make the page more festive, I used these crepe stickers from AJ Duaña's shop. I know the colors and the cuteness of things don't really match the elegant look that I started out with, but the designs really do make me smile and very happy. It's always good to start at a positive note, so for this review, I would love for you guys to list down some highlights or wins that you've had personally or professionally for the past 6 months. What were the events or tasks that you recall made you happy or made you smile for that day? These highlights or wins can be big or small. So for example, in my personal list, I have here a house party with some college mates. And as a person that's very shut in and in her shell, that was a huge event for me. But I also listed down here was having coffee with my mom or cooking for my family, which are things that I can do on a daily basis. Next to that are my professional wins. So I have to admit that I haven't really achieved the goals that I've set out for myself at the start of the year. But rather than focus on what I don't have, I'd rather focus on what I have done. I want to celebrate the fact that I started this YouTube channel, or that I made sticker bundles that I find really cute and I've been able to use on my journal. Makes me really proud of myself. Rather than basing your self-worth on external validation like number of subscribers or the income that you earn, I highly encourage us to look inward and intrinsically find validation instead. The next prompt are the lowlights or the challenges that we've faced these past 6 months. If you have a mood tracker, try to identify the days when you felt down or felt very demotivated and just couldn't get out of bed. See what happened a day before that, or perhaps the day itself, that made you feel that way. Looking back at my own records, I realized that my back pain really demotivates me from working at my desk, and arguments with my family usually put me in a black mood. Doing this simple exercise gives you a list of potential problems that you could focus on coming up with solutions for the next 6 months. The third prompt that we have is about self-care. So what are some activities that you do on a daily basis that sets you on the right mood for the day? Or maybe activities that when you don't do them for long periods of time, you notice that your mood drops. You start to feel a bit more anxious or perhaps short-tempered with those around you. For me, that means taking daily walks and having that block of time where I can think, reflect, and just be by myself. Professionally, I find it less stressful when I have Sunday planning where I can plot in the priorities for the week as well as time blocking so I can keep on schedule with all my deadlines, assured with the fact that things will eventually get done. On the next page is a continue, stop, and start list. These prompts were gotten from Sublime Reflections monthly review. If you want to check it out, I'll try to link it down below. A useful visual that I have for this is, imagine you are leaving a dusty, small, old apartment for a new and better, bigger house. Because you don't want to clutter your new home with your previous junk, you only want to pack one bag. And this bag has to be filled with only the habits, mindsets, and behaviors that you want to fill in your new and beautiful home. So, what are those behaviors and habits that you think contribute to this new, fresh life that you're trying to start? And what are the habits and behaviors that you feel are stopping you or holding you back from becoming the person you want to be? A few examples of these are, I want to continue saying yes to friend outings because I realized that it really helps not just build relationships but build myself up as well, as I try to surround myself with people who inspire me and have good influences in my life. Professionally, I also want to continue prototyping my ideas as soon as possible. This YouTube channel was not really well thought out. It was just an idea that I wanted to share my notebook, and look at where we are now. I realize now how perfection has really stopped me from doing a lot of things that I wanted to try out. Prototyping releases me from those high expectations and makes me more pleasantly surprised at the good results that I receive. To make space for new things in my life, I also have things that I want to stop. For example, drinking coffee, because it does mess up with my sleeping cycle, hence messes up with my morning routine. Professionally, I want to break the compulsion I have to check my email every 5 minutes. It's usually a complete waste of time, and I would come across opportunities that I say yes to when I really shouldn't have. In relation to the back pain that I mentioned a while ago, I want to start doing workout Wednesdays with my friends. I've also been contemplating on starting a virtual work session with a few art friends of mine to keep me accountable and focused as a freelance artist. Flipping over, we have our goals spread. Of course, my goals will be different from your own, but these prompt questions are very general and I think can be applied to whatever goals that you may have. But before we dive into that, I just want to say something that's in my heart regarding goal setting. When talking to friends, I realize that we tend to think of goals as something set in stone. But I have adapted a more flexible outlook on goals and would highly encourage everyone to regularly revisit and even revise your goals. Because the you that you are right now doesn't really know what the you in the future wants. So sometimes the goals that we've set in the start of the year might not be relevant or might not take us to where we thought we wanted to be in the future. So I hope that these simple prompts will help us reevaluate our goals in a more forgiving manner and silence that harsh critic within ourselves when we haven't met our expectations. The first question is your previous why. So what was the reason why you started this project? What initiated this idea of your goal? Then the second and third are more of process questions. What did you love when you started implementing action steps towards this goal? What did you love doing in the process of getting there? And what did you struggle with in trying to realize this dream of yours? The fourth question is your current why. Now that you know what you like and didn't like about this project or goal. Do you want to continue it? Do you still feel strongly? Are your previous whys still applicable? If not, then how would you revise those reasons to make it more relevant and more meaningful moving forward? Then the last question or prompt is your next action steps. What are the necessary things for you to realize this new goal? Do you need to pivot? Are there systems that you need to put into place? Perhaps some habits that you need to develop in order to realize this goal of yours. An example of this is my Etsy shop. So the reason why I started an Etsy shop was just because I was looking for an Egyptian washi tape design that's very specific in my mind, but I couldn't find one, so I made one. And I liked it, so I shared it to see how the market would react. Then through the process of doing this, I loved sharing the designs with my friends. I loved using it for my own bullet journal and creating what was in my head. Letting that out onto paper was very cathartic, and just having this tangible series of things which I can point to and say I've accomplished this was very self-satisfying. The thing I struggled with the most was the time pressure I put on myself. So I committed to having a sticker bundle every month, but I realized that was a lot of hard work, and it's not like YouTube is a full-time gig for me. Aside from that, there really wasn't any ROI from whatever I was putting out, so the lack of feedback was a bit discouraging as well. After reevaluating all these things, I revised my current why, which was just to make stickers and prints as a creative outlet and as something to share to my friends, maybe something that I can gift to my nieces and nephews. So for my next steps, I'm contemplating on taking down my Etsy shop and just transferring all the printables to my coffee shop instead. I also want to polish up the bundles that I currently have. For example, I want to have a sticker sheet full of Easter eggs for the bunny bundle that I have, as well as some notepad designs to go with my frog designs as well. I also have a few sportive friends who have been asking when I'm gonna release physical stickers for sale. So what I can do is probably make a pre-order form which anyone can fill out and print out a small batch of the most popular design to send out. Then on the right hand page we have my review for YouTube. My previous why was just to share this new notebook that I bought, which I was super excited about but had no one to talk to about bullet journaling. To my surprise, the video really did well, and I would have said turned mini viral with 12,000 views in just a month. I was super pumped with my results, and that kept me going for quite some time. What I loved about this process was creating the videos themselves. More than painting or writing, I feel like talking through my process, it has been the best way to express myself. Watching videos is also my favorite way of consuming information, so I really like the idea that in the future I have a library to refer back on for lessons that my past self may give me in future situations. But in the short months that I've been on this platform, I have fallen into the trap of comparison. I regularly check my metrics and I realized that was not good for my mental health. I don't really want to watch other bullet journalers anymore because I feel pressured to make creative spreads when honestly that's not something that I gravitate towards. If ever I was to continue this YouTube channel, my current why would probably be just to be myself and discovering what that actually looks like. I have always struggled with understanding where I fit into the world, and I feel like YouTube would be a great platform for showing what you're passionate about and seeing how other people might respond to who you are. I also view my videos more as an extension of my bullet journal practice as I try to embark on this journey of becoming a better version of myself. For my next steps, I would love to stick with this schedule of 2 videos a month. I've also been toying with the idea of introducing more paint with me videos. 2 particular projects in mind. The first one is a children's book for my portfolio, and the second one is a bullet journal full of Studio Ghibli monthly themes, which I have never seen anyone create, and just gets me so excited thinking about it. At the end, I'm probably not going to use it, so the idea is to finish that bullet journal, then host a giveaway for you guys. So let me know down in the comments if you guys are interested in that. The next page is entitled Mantras, but these are more of promises that I've made to myself at the start of the year. Each one was made targeting a certain character flaw that I noticed in myself. The first one is to commit fully to any project that I started this year, which includes this YouTube channel. I am someone who's easily discouraged when I don't see instant results, so I tend to give up halfway through even if I was just at the cusp of seeing the fruits of my labor. Aside from curiosity, perseverance is actually one of the core values of the bullet journal method. The second one is not to force myself to do anything I didn't want. If there's one thing that lockdown taught us, it's that time is not the only factor that we should be considering when saying yes to things, but also our mental and emotional capacity. Setting healthy boundaries will protect our energy and prevent us from burnout, making us more focused on the right things. And the third one is to value relationships above everything else. I have a bad tendency to prioritize work over people, but now I'm trying my best to say yes to all the friend outings, even at the sacrifice of my own personal projects. I hope that these prompts would help you critically review your first 6 months so you can design and strategize the next half of your year more effectively. Feel free to share in the comments down below some of the goals or highlights that you've had these past months. Like this video and subscribe because it really does support the channel. Share it with some of your bullet journaling friends if you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!